Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Gnome in the Cottage, and I am not liking this lighting situation at all. Let me fix that. There. I got some feedback last time that my lighting could be better, which, yes, everything could be better. The sound could be better. It all comes in time. This is a brand new channel. I am not going into it very prepared. I've been thinking about starting this channel for a really long time, but how I do everything, I sort of jump in head first and learn as I go. And that's fine with me. So here I am. I'm Gnome in the Cottage. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm new here too. So please take a chance on a girl. Subscribe, and like it, like the video. Give it a little thumbs up. Like even if you dislike it, I have very few, almost a non-existent algorithm. I it would make me happy. It would help my self esteem if people liked the video. Even if you don't want to watch it, even if you jumped on here and said, oh no, I have not watched season 3 of Lock and Key yet. I have to get out of here. Yes, then definitely leave the room if you haven't watched season 3, episodes 4 through 8 yet. Here is not the place you want to be unless you appreciate spoilers and likes to know what I have to say about the show before you even watch it. That's not how I watch shows most of the time, although, full disclosure, it is how I began watching certain reality TV shows. Like 90 Day Fiancé, I started by watching YouTube, and somebody was commenting on it, and I said, what is this show? And I went and watched it. So maybe my smiling face will interest you in watching the show Lock and Key. I would love to get a few minutes into the stream before I start talking, but not too long. I am just going to begin with saying that I noticed that in my last live, a few things I was not a fan of the quality of the sound, and I know that will improve when I get a better microphone, and I turned off the fan in this room. Hopefully that will help. And I'm a face toucher, so I've got to try to stop doing that, and hopefully that will happen. I don't know though. I'm not going to worry about it. I have an itch right under my eye right now, and I'm dying to itch it. Let's see how long I can go without itching my face. Also, I wanted to do this live. At this point, I lack good video creations editing software, and also I'm leaving for a trip to Costa Rica tonight or tomorrow morning in the middle of the night, basically. And I wanted to make sure I did this commentary before I forgot everything, because my brain is like a sieve. Information just leaves and then I forget. So I learned after I watched this season, I did a little bit of reading, and I'm really glad that I read the reviews and the reactions after watching the season, because I don't like to read people's opinions. For example, I have not seen Jurassic World Dominion yet. I was super excited for it. I love dinosaurs, and I love the whole Jurassic Park franchise. I'm like a little 3-year-old in that aspect. I love dinosaurs, and that was one of the best things about having kids, is that I had permission for myself to get really into dinosaurs again, except my youngest is not into dinosaurs. He's afraid. He's into cars. So I just say, oh, well, I'm still a dinosaur fan. But I haven't watched the new Jurassic Park because I've heard so very many people tell me it's not good. And I will watch it. That doesn't make it mean I won't watch it. It means I'm not in a rush to go to the actual movie theater and expose myself to whatever germs are there and pay all of that money for something that isn't that good. I figure I can just wait until it streams somewhere. All right. We're about 5 minutes into the stream. Let's begin. Welcome to my channel. I'm Gnome in the Cottage. Today we're going to do a commentary, my live analysis. It's not going to be a very in-depth analysis, but I'm going to talk about a few things in each episode that stood out to me, that I liked, maybe that I didn't like, and I would love to hear your opinion. So down below in the comment section, what I want to know is, what did you think? Give me your honest opinion of season 3 of Locke. What did you like? What characters did you like? What storylines did you like? And what did you not like? Who could you live without? What did you wish there was more of? And what were you confused about? I don't know about you, but I was a little confused at the end. I was a little confused the whole season. And part of that I blame on myself. I did not re-binge season 2. Now, I have watched season 1 twice, but I did not go back and watch season 2 before watching season 3. And it's been since season 2 dropped was the last time I saw season 2. So that's how long my brain takes to forget a lot of things at my age, I guess. It just happens. Anyway, yeah, I don't have any. I'm not good at spreadsheets and stuff like that, so I can't. I have a hard time keeping track of who knows about the keys and who doesn't. Who's been where? Who can do what? Who died? Who left? Who came back? And what reveals have happened? And maybe that's what I need to do, is just make a spreadsheet to keep track of everything. But I'll do my best to keep it straight for you in this commentary. Well, last time I left, it was I was so tired. My eyes were wonky, and I was ready for my last live. But I left off at season 3, and I was pretty excited about the return of Dodge in Bodhi's body. And a lot of things in my last live that I predicted or had questions about definitely either happened and were addressed in the rest of the season. So I was happy about that. The time shift key paradox was definitely addressed towards the end. I'm jumping ahead. I might jump around a little bit, and forgive me. I do have a little cheat sheet up here, which is going to try to keep me on track as far as the episodes go. Let me move my. So I'm pretty new to doing this, and I'm sorry if I'm not looking exactly at the camera. Just bear with me. Let's talk about the show. So we left off with Bodhi having been possessed by Dodge, and I was very, very excited because I love Laisla Olivara. I'm so sorry. I don't like mispronouncing people's names, but she's an excellent actress. And I really wish we'd gotten more screen time with her this season. I really, really do. I think she's great. And I think that Bodhi's character did a very good job of being Dodge. I think that takes some talent. And that's Jackson Robert Scott. That's very so kudos to this lovely child actor. I think he's great, and I really hope that we see more of him. So it takes a lot to just, I'm sure, switch characters. I'm not an actor, but I can imagine. Now you have to be this other character. And there are a few characters that do that this season, sort of. And I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who, the Echo, the British soldier that ends up, we have a callback to Sam. I really liked Sam in season 1, so I'm glad he came back at the end of season 3 and was taken into the British soldier's body. So that actor had to be Sam suddenly, and not a Revolutionary War British soldier. But in season 3, we knew that we would be frustrated about Bodhi being Dodge, and it seems very, very dangerous. One thing I will say about the show is that, and I don't know if you agree with me about this, the musical score. Now, I had it turned up very loud because I had a fan in my room, and I had a 7-year-old, and Judge my parenting all you want. My 7-year old was much too young for Stranger Things season 4 this season. But I'm pretty sure that he likes Lock and Key, and it's something that doesn't involve cars. He's very much a fixator. He fixates, and and he likes Lock and Key, so it's not that scary. And he has lots of questions, and I'm really happy that anything he shows interest in, it's not too scary. And he got really excited, but yes, he was asking questions in my ear because he was confused the whole time, which it's a little annoying. You have to stop, press pause, answer, because I do want to address his questions, and then press play. So I had it turned up really loud. The musical score, which I very much appreciated and like. I'm not the kind of person who gets irritated with a good musical score where the music tells you how to feel. Some people do get irritated by that. However, a few times this season, I felt like the musical score was hitting me over the head, if you know what I mean, a little bit. Like, but maybe it was necessary because it did definitely stir those feelings of anxiety, and it had me on the edge of my seat. What's going to happen? What's Bodhi going to do as Dodge? The family is in jeopardy. The family is in danger. Bodhi is going to get those keys, and that's Dodge. So we end up having Bodhi be Dodge. And as I predicted, it really doesn't take too long for that to be revealed. So I'm going to look at my at my cheat sheet here so I don't get too off topic. So while so Bodhi ends up interacting with his entire family in a very bizarre way. And he's rude and sarcastic, and he's rude to Nina's about to or sort of boyfriend, Josh, the historian who is played by I'd like to give the actors a little bit of credit here. So I have the actors' names right here. Played by Brendan Hines. Liked him, appreciated him. He's rude to his daughter. That's what he's afraid. The whole family knows something is off. And like I said the things I said in my last live were made more obvious or addressed. Nina she doesn't catch on. Even when she finds Dodge's body in Bodhi's room, she doesn't quite put two and two together, which I thought that should have made sense. But let's get back to that. Meanwhile, we have a new character to the season stepping into the show. We've got Tyler's girlfriend, not quite girlfriend from Montana, who drove all the way from Montana to Key House, which seemed a little bit stalkerish. But hey, I was completely boy crazy I was going to say my 20s, but it's not limited to my 20s and my teen years. I might have I did drive across the country for my current partner. I absolutely did, but it wasn't a shock. I told him I was on my way. I didn't show up and surprise him. But yes, I've taken large chances and done crazy things for people I wanted to be with before. So, but it still struck me as, well, how did she even know where to come? So there's that. And now I like the introduction of her character. I really wish we'd had more of her character. This is Carly. Carly is played by, come on, I want to know who she's played by. Well, my cheat sheet doesn't have it in front of me, so I'm not going to waste too much time. But yeah, Carly shows up and she adds a little bit of perspective to the show. Somebody coming in from the outside late in the series and having to see the Locks and their all of their drama and what's going on. And I like her. She adds a little bit. Again, I really wish they hadn't ended the season at 3 seasons. And I did find out why. It's not that the show was exactly canceled. I'll talk about that in a moment. It was planned to end in 3 seasons. And I think that was a good choice. Introducing a character and then sending them away again. Okay, what else? Dodge. So Bodhi, who is Dodge, meets up with Gideon, the British captain, British general, British high. Well, he's a demon. He's not Gideon anymore. He was a British Revolutionary War high-ranking military guy, and now he's a demon. And he's walking with his goons, echoes that he's called up around, trying to get the keys from Key House. And he wants to get the keys because the power of the keys, he has no interest in all of the fun and cool things that the keys can do. He wants to open a portal to Demon World. So that's what he wants. The demons have some kind of psychic connection with each other. Bodhi / Dodge is drawn during episode 4. I've been saying episode 3 for like 15 minutes. I meant episode 4. Everything I've just said is episode 4. Episode 4. My apologies. That's the risk you take when you go live. Everything that's happened during episode 4 has been Dodge in Bodhi's body, acting just like Dodge, which is pretty cool. And during a dinner where Bodhi is acting completely rude and horrible to Josh, Bodhi sort of senses there's that other demon there. And Bodhi / Dodge goes out to meet Gideon. They meet up. Now, I was hoping that these two would really face off. But in fact, they join forces kind of. And I think it's pretty obvious to everybody that Dodge is smarter than that. And Dodge is not willing to relinquish any kind of power. So when Gideon says, get me the keys, you're useful to me as a Locke, Dodge says, what do I get in return? Gideon says, you get to serve, rule the Dominion at my right hand or something like that. And Dodge says, well, fair enough. But you can see that's not what's going to happen. Bodhi goes back looking for the keys. And we're pretty sure that there's another plan there. While this episode is happening, we've got Rufus and Ellie, of course, these two characters pairing up together again, and Rufus meeting up with Bodhi back at the house, and Rufus, being as smart as he is and being Bodhi's best friend, immediately realizes that this is Dodge. And of course, Dodge uses the superhuman demon strength to beat up poor Rufus and warns Rufus not to say anything because then he will kill his mother and Bodhi's mother as well. And Rufus and Nina leave, and I think we all figure out that pretty quickly Rufus will tell his mom Ellie about the situation, but will it be too late? We know that this is all going to culminate in, the cat being let out of the bag, so to speak. Everybody realizing. And at the end of this episode, we have Nina discovering Dodge's body under the bed. And I don't know about you, but I thought that Dodge / Bodhi would have a harsher reaction than, making up a story that Nina seemed to sort of buy a little bit. But it worked, because otherwise I think Nina would have been out of the picture, which I didn't see the episode going there. I didn't see them killing off Nina. Okay, let's see. I'm going to move on to episode 5. So Nina does it, like I said, episode 5, it's called Siege. It's called Siege because this is the episode in which, what's his name? Gideon and his soldiers prepare to lay siege to Key House so that they can get the keys to open up the world, the demon world, the portal. As this is all happening, Nina goes and tells the kids about Dodge's appearance, and she gives them Bodhi's explanation. she gives them Bodhi's explanation for what, he said he used the time shift key and Dodge tagged a ride, and then Dodge was just, dead or no, acting dead, but and had the ghost key. Oh, Tyler made the choice. I predicted this well. I said I give Tyler like just a few episodes of being back on the show before he gets his memory back. We can't have Tyler without his memory. It's too difficult. It's too difficult having a character interacting with the other characters who doesn't remember anything about what's going on. So yes, he makes the choice to get his memory back. And it's not too, I thought this might happen at some kind of very dangerous scene. I was waiting for Dodge / Bodhi to break in and grab the memory key or something. I don't know what I was expecting to happen, but I thought there would be some more turmoil involved in simply unlocking the key in his chest and giving Tyler his memories back. But there wasn't. And that's fine. Okay. Dodge finds out where, and I might be mixing up the time when this happened, but Dodge finds out, I think in the last episode, maybe where the keys are stored, which is, oh yeah, she finds out in the last episode because Kinsey goes to get the memory key from the Harlequin chest. And of course, Bodhi is spying and watching and sees where the keys are in that indestructible chest. And so then we have the music telling us we should be nervous about this, which is interesting. And Kinsey is, unlocks Tyler's memory. Bodhi meets up with Gideon last episode and says, I think she said she didn't, or she did not know where the keys were yet, where in fact, Dodge did know where the keys were. Dodge had seen. And so now we know Dodge's agenda is different from this particular demon. And Dodge's plan is to break Bodhi's switch. I remember watching that switch just snap in half, and my little boy was so very confused and upset. My son has my son is very bothered, I'll put it that way, about things like that. Messes, breaking toys, anything like that really disturb and upset him. Why would he break his switch? But I said that seems like part of a plan to me, which in fact it was. It was part of a plan. It was part of Dodge's plan to get into the chest, to get the mending key. Now, luckily, Nina and the two other kids, Kinsey and Tyler, at this point, they know. They know something is going on. They're putting it all together in their minds that Bodhi is, in fact, Dodge. It hasn't quite come up yet. But they're wondering, what does the hourglass on that clock do? The sand is running out, and they all agree that can't be a good thing. And yeah, I noticed that when it first happened. I said, I wonder what that means. I was so happy when I found out what it meant. So Nina takes Bodhi / Dodge into the kitchen while Kinsey and Tyler pretend to go get the mending key. They know better because Bodhi / Dodge isn't that. Dodge is not that good at being Bodhi. They know something's up. They're not about to give whatever has taken over Bodhi, whatever's wrong with Bodhi. They're not about to give him access to those keys. So this all sort of blows up in a scene in the kitchen where Nina is trying to make tacos to distract the demon, and Bodhi / Dodge calls our world Meat World. Meat World. She just likes to eat the food. She thinks it's pretty fun here. So that's her motivation for keeping. We don't get a good wrap up in what happened to Dodge in the end here, but At this point, Dodge's motivation is keeping the world around, and we know Gideon's demon's motivation is bringing the demon world into this world and sort of taking over. Reminds me of another show I just watched. Anybody else? But I know it wasn't copied because I know Joe Hill wrote this book a long time ago. Didn't read it yet, but I also know the episodes in the show was filmed separately and like probably separately, and no, but there was no, it's interesting that two shows came out with a few similarities. In fact, when my son, because he did watch Stranger Things episodes 1 through 3, and I told him he was allowed to watch Lock and Key season 3. He said, "Oh, good, it's just going to be like Stranger Things." Not exactly. But I see where he made, absolutely, I do see where he made those comparisons. Absolutely, there's quite a few parallels there. So Dodge in the kitchen. Nina's trying to make tacos. Tyler comes in with the chain and lock and chains it right when, Bodhi's about, Dodge slash Dodie got a knife to Nina and about to, give me the keys, enough of this. And Tyler saves the day by chaining up Bodhi. Well, Dodge is able to convince the family that Gideon is on his way. Gideon is a bigger and more evil demon and will hell-bent on destroying this world, our world. And they need Dodge's help. And Dodge is able to somewhat convince the family to free him from the chains, free her from the chains. And they all prepare themselves for the siege of Gideon and his soldiers. And everybody we don't know what, but everyone's going to be given a weapon. They have a plan. Now, remember in my last live, no, I'm sure you don't, because I think maybe 2 people watched my last live. But I did say in my last live, that plant key, it seems pretty benign, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Yeah. What are they going to do? Grow plants at them? Yes, that's in fact what they do, which I thought was pretty funny. The only key that the soldiers have is the only keys is the anywhere key and the plant key, I think. Like I said, I don't have a spreadsheet to keep track of all of this. So they try to open the door. They realize there are plants covering all the doors. They were going to use the ghost key, I think, and send Dodge into the ghost realm. Remember, Bodhi is still actually a ghost at this point, and he's trying to send signals and signs like by freezing, by making chilly cold air and having a coating of frost on everything to show his family he's there, and he's somewhat successful with that. But that's all he can really do at this point. Gideon is there. They arm themselves. They end up giving so Tyler and Nina and Bodhi fight with the soldiers. Gideon can't take the keys. We know that. Dodge ends up, I'm trying to remember if this happens in episode 3. Yeah. Okay. So what ends up happening is, I'm saying the episode's wrong. Blah. Episode 5. Okay. We're still in episode 5. Dodge has the angel key, saves Kinsey's life when she's about to get the key physically taken from her by one of the Echo British soldiers. That's a weird term. Echo British soldiers. And I think that Kinsey, she could have tried harder in the fight. And of course, Tyler gets cut in the melee. Nina is pretty quickly knocked out in the melee. They are not really a match. Apparently, this demon that Gideon is a bigger and more powerful demon than than Dodge. And during this whole thing, at some point, Duncan calls back to explain to Kinsey what happens when the hourglass runs out. And this is where the paradox is addressed, the time travel paradox. We're going back into the past, changes the future. When the hourglass runs out, anything that is not supposed to be in the present modern time just disappears. So we find that out in the middle of all of the action. So we know, oh, they're running out of time. Such a common trope in all of these shows that I watch. I mean, I watched The Zoo. Everything I watch, I feel like there's this common. If I had a dollar for every time somebody in a show that I like says we're running out of time, or that concept is, I might have enough money to buy some equipment for my YouTube channel. But I mean, they're running out of time. Dodge will become non-existent pretty soon because the hourglass is going to run out. And Dodge came from the past in this particular scene. No spreadsheet. Just remember, Dodge came from the past. Dodge's time is very limited at this point. So Dodge is the angel key and does save Kinsey. Kinsey? Why? What's her actual name Kinsey, not Kinsley. And so that happens. But Dodge gets the alpha key, sneaks up behind Gideon as he's about to open the trunk and get all the keys. As Dodge is about to use the alpha key to undemonize, to destroy Gideon, the sand runs out of the glass, and Dodge is gone. And Boki's body is gone too, which is a little bit of a concern for everybody involved in the show. And that's where the episode ends. Oh, Rufus and Nina are, I think, at this point and decide it's time to go over there. They've been calling for a while, and they need to go over there. And I was wondering when that would happen. They need to get there. Okay. Now we're on episode 6. Episode 6. Tyler, Kinsey, Nina. They all escape and they jump into Ellie's car, which is great. Let's see what else happens. Gideon he takes all the keys because this was his plan. He's inside Key House. And he rips open a portal. And my son says, "What is that?" I said, "It's the upside down." I don't know how else to explain it. It's not really. It's another world. It's the demon world. It's the blue realm where they're not really. That's part of the show, and Gideon does explain it at one point. Your world subjugates other people. What do we do that's any different? There is sort of a point to be had there. Good, evil, irrelevant. It's existential stuff, really. And it's also ambiguous, right? It's kind of ambiguous, I think. We don't know what that realm is. I'm calling it demon realm. I don't know what else to call it. Maybe there's a better word. Maybe you could tell me in the comments what you think that world should be called. So at this point, it's clearly the rising action is we're at the top of the rising action. We're at the top of the plot diagram here. The central point of conflict is happening, and this is great. We have Bodhi in the ghost yard. Can't help his family, very frustrated. And we have him finding Sam there. Now remember, Sam killed his dad, before season 1. We've got a lot of flashbacks throughout the whole series. And even though we know that Dodge influenced a very troubled boy to murder Rendell, it's just not Bodhi isn't ready to be friends with Sam just yet. But Chamberlain explains Sam's looking to redeem himself. He's looking to atone. And he has helped your family before. And Bodhi's curious about that. And Sam explains, well, I use birds. And we could use birds if you it's one of the powers that we have as ghosts, is we can the birds will do what we want. And that's how Kizzy found the angel key. I used the birds to help, to lead her to the angel key. So now we know the birds are going to be involved. And yeah, and that part will remind us of another show too, as well. Let's see. It takes a while. Josh, so Gideon realizes that there's one key missing. I honestly, when that reveal happened, I had no idea if they kept a key. I had no idea what that key was. I didn't know if I knew about that key or if I didn't know about that key. And I hope that everybody else was in that same boat. I hope that everybody was like, oh, what? Okay, that's not really a shock. If I were them, I would have kept a key too. But no, that isn't what happened. They actually had no idea. But they do find out because Gideon sends his goons, the soldiers, to Josh and the little girl's house to find out where Nina is. Josh gets shot. They kidnap the girl. The girl takes them. But they are warned by Josh calling Ellie's house ahead of time. Ellie is renting. By the way, there's another thing that I don't understand. Ellie, who had essentially been missing because she was in the demon realm all last season until they got her back. And Rufus had been saying they go back to Matheson, Massachusetts, and they are renting a place by the water. How? Ellie hasn't gotten her old job as a coach back, and she doesn't until the end of the series. I don't know if anyone's ever tried to rent a seacoast cottage in New England before without a job. And if you know how to do that, and you could tell me how that's done, let me know. Tell me the secret. I mean, I live an hour away from the New England seacoast. And the property that I own cost a certain amount of money. It was a regular amount of money. But the same house, if I put my house on the seacoast, would double, if not at least double in price. The seacoast prices are extremely expensive. So all of these people living in this place without sources of income that I can clearly understand. It just sits there in my mind as like, what? Could somebody please just give me an explanation for this? I don't understand. I don't understand. And by the way, I just want to say that one of my very, very good friends, his name is Alex, told me in a chat we were having about the show on social media. And he's a childhood friend of mine as well. He lives in Canada. He moved from Massachusetts to Canada. And he has been living there for a long time. And I jokingly said, well, New Hampshire claims Joe Hill because we do. Maine can claim his dad. New Hampshire claims Joe Hill. But, lots of great shows are filmed in Canada. And the show Lock and Key, which I did know this, is filmed in Canada. Now, I guess they can make Canada look like any place. They can easily make Canada look like New England, which it does remind me of New England. I do like the settings. I do like the outdoor sets, the indoor sets. I like all of that. I think it's great. Okay, back to the turmoil that's happening in the show. So Josh goes over. So now before Josh gets there, now Nina, Ellie, and the kids all are warned that Gideon's on his way, and they have a plan. They are going to try and lead him to the ghost realm. They're going to try it and my bad. They're going to try to get him to go into the well house, and that makes him disappear. And that's their plan. But what ends up happening is Gideon goes to Ellie's, and the kids So hold on. Before they leave, Ellie tells us what the final key is. And the final key is is something that they've hidden in the head of a character that I've only even noticed this season, Gordy Shaw. And that's interesting. So he's inside his head. So what ends up happening, the end, Gideon leaves, um, and they leave one of the British soldiers, Bolton, back. Gideon leaves Bolton in charge of making sure the rest of the Locke family and Nina and the little girl are locked in the pantry. But reveal, Bolton, the British soldier, is now Sam. Spreadsheets out, everybody. Bolton, the British Echo, is in fact Sam. Sam has taken his body because I skipped this part, but Bolton used went into the Goldstrom to try to find the key. Oh yeah, that's what happened. They try to mislead. They try to misdirect with Gideon and Bolton to try to get him into the Goldstrom, and Sam came back into Bolton's body. So now Bolton is actually Sam. And so that's another. I'm glad we have this character back. I like the character. Not in Sam's body, but I like the actor. I like the character. I like the idea. I like the concept a lot. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. We know that Sam is now helping. Takes everybody a minute to catch up. The beginning. So now we're going to move on to episode 7. We're almost at the end. Okay. So we go back to, we're in a flashback where we find the creation key. No, is it called the creation key? Hold on. We're back to 1995. Rendell, Ellie, Aaron, all the other keepers of the keys are there, and he uses the key to create a character called Caliban from The Tempest instead of using a puppet, and it's pretty cool. It reminds me of a little gremlin. I finally itched my face. I'm aware of that. Rendell is pretty excited about this in 1995. He's got, he just drew he just drew a creature and it came to life and they could use it in the play, The Tempest. They were all theater people. They really wanted to do that, but nobody really liked the creature. It was kind of a little bit out of control. It acted a little bit like a gremlin. I mean, it quoted Shakespeare aptly, aptly quoting Shakespeare as it gremlined around. And, the other keepers think it could be dangerous. Now, Gordy Shaw as a teenager shows up, and it's pretty clear that Gordy has, we've seen this character appear throughout the season. It's pretty clear that he was excluded from the friend group. It's pretty clear that he has some, he wanted to be included and he wasn't. So he shows up trying to talk to his buddies or they're not his buddies, they're not his friends, but he wants to be included and he sees the creature and they try to cover it up, they try to capture it, make it disappear, and tell him he really didn't see anything. But what they end up actually doing is they find out that the next day he goes and he tells the headmaster about what he saw. And they can't have that. They can't have the secrets of the keys getting out. So back in 1995, they decided to go into Gordy Shaw's head. And that's an interesting place. This is one of the best head keys I've seen. It's I don't know if I call it a vaudeville theater. It's one of those old, I don't know. My father used to be, his father, my grandfather back in the 20s. That's how old my father was. My father was born in 1922, I think. My grandfather owned a vaudeville theater that turned into a motion picture theater once motion pictures came out, but it was vaudeville at the time. So it reminded me of an old fashioned theater, maybe like a Broadway street but in the past. So Gordy's memories have your pretty, awkward first kiss. It's all backstage of a dressing room. And that's where they go. They take Gordy, and it becomes pretty clear that their plan is to They say we're going to take the memory of what you saw and the memory we're creating right now. And that's where we leave that. Then we go back to present day, and we get some really good scenes of Ellie and Gideon. Like I said, I love the character. I like his voice. I like how he talks. I've read a few articles that disagree with that, but I like him. Let me give you the name of the actor again. Kevin Durand. I like him. I think he's great. Sorry if that's an opinion not everybody agrees with, but we love to see, somebody from a British soldier from a British, sorry, I think he's a general and slash demon come, and find out, well, he's really fascinated by cars. He wants Ellie to drive the car really, really fast. And she does, and of course she does the whole slamming on the brakes trick. And now he's indestructible. He can't be killed. But the car does a whole flip over and crash and ends up upside down, and then it explodes, which to my understanding, cars really don't do that, but I think that was kind of the point. It had to be that over the top, and of course he just gets up. And they end up getting to Gordy's house, and Gordy is wealthy and has a lot of money, and has a nice house. I like that house. So Gideon, that happens a little bit later. We don't want. Let's see. I don't want to skip everything. Oh no, I'm not skipping anything. I'm right on this one. Gideon and Ellie show up at Gordy's house. Gordy is not receptive to any of it. He doesn't want them there. He doesn't understand what's going on. And Gideon, being the violent person that he is, pretty quickly, I don't remember what it is that he breaks, but he breaks a pretty sharp, jagged object and just impales Gordy right through the stomach, which is a wound that, it doesn't seem like a survivable wound. But they use the head key to get into his head while he's dying, essentially. And they go in. Soon after that, the kids show up with Rufus. So Rufus, Sam, in Bolton's body, Tyler and Kinsey show up. And they go in to Gordy Shaw's head. Rufus tries to stay behind to try to save Gordy's life. We don't know what will happen when they go into Gordy's head. If Gordy dies, nobody knows what will happen. You're dead too, and that is what they come to assume later on. So they find Gordy, and I really do appreciate this character. There's a lot of, you're not meant to be just a bit player in our. We have this beautiful scene where the teenage Rendell tells Gordy, Gordy. My stream is interrupted. I stopped for a minute. In the play, and Gordy never got the part, and Rendell was going to, offer to drop out of the show, and it's a beautiful moment. He gives Gordy a hug and tells him, you're much better than this. You're not. You're bigger than this. You're better than this. You're meant to be so much more. You are an important person. So we all know Rendell is in the show, even though he's a flashback character. Don't make no mistake about it. Rendell is a character in the show, even though he's not alive. We have so much interaction with him during the series. He is a character in the show. The dead one, but still a character in the show. We see him at different ages, different phases of his life, doing different things. And it's great. I like it. Meanwhile, the kids, so Ellie takes Gideon to the under part of the stage where Gideon says, what could possibly be here? Gordy's such an emotional guy. And of course, that's where the fear monsters are. Remember Kinsey's fear monster from season 1? That thing was scary. And the fear monster is very powerful. So, his fear, his anger, it's all down there. It's all under the stage. And that's all going to come up. And that will probably take take Gideon a while to deal with, to fight. It's a bigger obstacle than the car crash. It's a bigger obstacle than anything he's had to fight so far. We don't get to see that fight. We know it's happening. Meanwhile, they're looking for the key. The kids, Tyler, Kinsey, and Sam, are looking for the key in the head. Takes them a minute to find it. They have to realize that Aaron put it one place in a coat pocket, and whose coat pocket? One of the characters in a Shakespearean play. There's a lot of Shakespearean parallels, and I do teach Shakespeare, and maybe when I do a better episode by episode analysis, I'll get more into that. But I'm just doing a quick commentary right now. So Gordy had always been ostracized. That is blatantly obvious to us, but we realized that remember Aaron from the previous season, did not feel that the coat pocket was an acceptable place to hide the key. So they're still looking for the key, and they end up finding. Now, hold on, we got to move on to season 8 or episode 8 before I get there, which is a good place to go at the time we're at. So Rufus is trying to save Gordy, which is sort of an effort that isn't going to work because Gordy's wound is too big, but at least buy them some time. His body's falling apart, so the inside of his head is falling apart. The real body is actually, we find, the one that Rufus hides in the house. And the body created by the head key is the one that is in the ambulance. So this is a little bit weird. We don't understand how that works. You feel bad for this guy, absolutely. His mind starts to blink out of existence. The kids do find, is this, I think in this Gideon, they find Gideon, I believe it's this episode, playing the piano, which I love this character, such a great scene. He's playing the piano on stage. He's beating the beer monsters. And then they go to confront him and get the key. And they just say, forget it, because the body is dying. The thing is starting to blink out of existence. The tent, the entry to the theater, it's all starting to leave. So finally, we're at Farewell, episode 8. And I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. Okay. Tyler, Kinsey, and so I did miss. So they ended up getting the key in the last episode. It was hidden in the piano case, and Sam's character has a last opportunity to save the family again by sacrificing his own life. He tries using the sandbags of the theater to delay Gideon, which works, and the piano ends up falling on Sam, and he's trapped. Now remember, Sam's an echo; he can't die. So I wonder, but Sam was already dead to begin with. It's all very, very confusing. So they end up. Kinsey and Ellie make it out of Gordy's head right in the nick of time, but the police have shown up to try to arrest Rufus, who's covered in blood from dealing with the wounds, and there had been a stabbing. And of course, the cops are very confused. They see the tent, and Gideon breaks out. He finds the door. He breaks out of the head and into the room, and he's fighting with the cops. And while that's happening, Kinsey and Tyler, they have this really cool scene where they run through town to very, very suspenseful music. Gordy dies. The thing just blinks out of existence. So we know that Sam is probably gone. And that's all very sad. Kinsey and Tyler running through town to music. They have the key. They have the creation key that they need. And Kinsey, they can't outrun Gideon. Gideon's chasing them. So So they draw a door to a bar. They go through the bar. They run through the bar. Gideon breaks through, chases them through the bar. They get to the street. Kinsey just quickly sketches a motorcycle. Didn't know she could do that. It's kind of a cool motorcycle. They hop on. And there's, right after they take off on the motorcycle that Kinsey drew in the pavement, there's Josh. Because Josh, even though he's wounded, he now knows, spreadsheet back, now Josh knows about a little bit about the magic and believes it, and a little bit about the situation with the demons and such. And he goes to try and help, and he intercepts Gideon with his car. He hits him with the car. Bam! Well, that's not going to do much to Gideon. We've seen this guy survive a lot more than that. However, what I wanted to have happen when I first saw Gideon get so giddy about the car happens. He gets to drive. He's a terrible driver. Goodness, I thought it was a standard. Like, does he not know how to drive a stick? But my fiance said, no, that's an automatic. I don't know what's going on here. I guess, I don't know. It's been a while since I learned how to drive, but it does take a minute, even with an automatic, to understand what you're doing. But it took him a few minutes to figure it out, but he does get to drive. He really likes the horseless carriage a lot. And it's a high-speed chase. And they get there. And what they decide to do, because I do want to wrap this up, they decide to use the creation key. They couldn't. Oh, what I've missed talking about was Nina and Bodhi. The real Bodhi had gone back into his own body, which is nice. And they're trying to get into the Harlequin chest to get the keys. And they've tried everything, but it is an indestructible chest. Absolutely indestructible chest. Now, I was thinking the whole time, can't you just forge a new key? Don't you have the ability to forge a key? That portal is open in your house. And when I saw that portal open in the house, all I could think was, oh my gosh, it's going to cost so much money to repair that damage. But I have an old house. I understand the fear is real. And so I was thinking, why don't they just forge a new key real quick? That happened last season. Tyler forged the alpha key, but I think that took a while. They can't get into the chest. They try everything, but they can't get into the chest. But Kinsey and Tyler get there, and they decide to use the creation key to make a way to get in, to make a door to the chest, and that works. So they have a plan. Gideon shows up. They immediately try. They've created a gigantic with the creation key. They've created a, what do you call it? A construction vehicle with one of those gripper things to lift Gideon up and try putting him in the well house so he disappeared. But he's too strong. Just the power of his arms, just destroy, not resisting, just is enough to destroy that huge tractor. It's not a tractor. It's a construction vehicle. My little boy would know exactly what that's called. It's like a cat. No, it's a big one. No, a crane. I don't know what it's called, but it doesn't work very well. It has an arm, but Gideon pretty quickly destroys that. So what do? They fight with him. Let's see what else happens. The demon resists. Eventually Gideon storms the house, and Kinsey actually saves the day by getting Gideon over to the portal, or he tries to throw her in the portal, but she's got the alpha key because they've gotten away. They've quickly gotten away into the chest, and all they had time to grab was the alpha key. She uses the alpha key and destroys him. We have a moment where we're a little concerned that she might fall into the portal too, but they grab her. Gideon's dead, and that's over. That part is over. So now we've got to wrap this all up. The decision is made to destroy all the keys because the keys are harmful. Even though they're fun, they come with some pretty problematic issues. Now, if it were me, I wouldn't do it. I'm a risk taker. I like that's me. That's why my life decisions are not always on point. But they do decide that the best thing is to destroy the keys. Now, at this point, I'm a little confused. as to what exactly happens. They Bodhi doesn't want to. The rest of them agree. Bodhi finally comes around. They There's this beautiful scene where they do throw all the keys into the portal to close it up. And they do something with the memory key. I thought they were all choosing to forget. And I was really upset. I thought that was I thought that was a bad idea. I'm still confused about that because as you know, after the last scenes of the show, it doesn't seem like they forgot. It seems like they all remember, and I would really hope they would keep those memories. It seems like if there is such a realm in their world, they're going to need to remember certain things about it. Plus, Duncan didn't have any choice in the matter, and he still has his memory. So I'm not exactly sure what they chose to do in the end. If they chose to remember or if they chose to forget. I was super confused about that. But maybe someone can explain to me in the comments, or maybe I'll do some more reading and find out. I don't know if anybody else was confused. I thought they were using the memory key to forget, but I guess they were using the memory key to remember. Or Nina made some comment to Josh about they would not be remembering this. I thought that's what was said. But at the end, Tyler, Carly, it turns out they're going to go on a road trip. They're going to go visit Baja, and they're going to go visit Colorado. Yeah, I did all that. Well, I didn't do Baja, but Colorado. I did road trips in my 20s with my friends too. But my question again is, with what money? It's not cheap to go on a road trip with gas prices the way they are. And I mean, are they going to stay in hostels? Are they going to camp? It's not free. And that's their plan, though. That looks like fun. Good for them. Josh and Nina are clearly going to be a couple. Oh, and what's the last thing that happens? Scott comes back. We do see Scott. They explain Sam's at the premiere of Kinsey's movie. They have to explain to the audience why Sam was credited in the production. Scott shows up. Yay, I wish he was in the whole season, but he was there at the end. He and Kinsey have an on-screen kiss, and that's good. They're going to be a couple, I guess. That's nice. And she's going to try to go to college in Europe or in the UK, wherever he's going. But they used before this is before all of this. Bodhi requests one more use of the keys. What I said in my last live, if it were me, and it were my love partner, I would want to, or my dad, I would want to go back and interact with him one more time. And that part, I think, made both of us cry. Both Kevin and I know maybe he wasn't. It looked like he was tearing up a little. I could have been wrong. I was holding back the tears, but it was sweet. You know, of course, the paradox happens. So the way it's explained is Rendell it seems like they go back in time and they find Rendell, and they have a very nice time with Rendell. And it appears they do explain everything to Rendell, because it appears that hourglass makes the paradox not happen. So Rendell won't remember the meeting with his family, so he won't know to avoid being shot later on in life, which is, I guess that's how they avoid the paradox. It's not explained very well, but at least it is addressed. At least it is addressed, and that's really good. I like them to address things like that. The hourglass feature of the time shift key keeps the paradox from changing the future. So the family will remember getting to go back and visit with Rendell. And he's just very proud of all of them. He's very proud of Tyler. And that's all very sweet. And he agrees. The keys aren't the best part of life. Family and making memories are. If I had magical keys, I'd keep them. But that's just me. That's just me. And we do end the series on a pretty definite note. It's over. I don't think there's going to be a movie. And now this was a planned ending. The show did not get canceled. I do have something pulled up here. This is an article from Fanfish about season, the whole series. And here's a quote. Earlier this year, it was confirmed that season 3 would be the final season, and co-runners Carlton Cuse and Meredith Averill released a statement explaining why the decision was made. Once we began working on the series, we felt 3 seasons was the ideal length. to bring the story of the Locke family and their key house adventures to a satisfying conclusion. Well, good for them. Good for them. Because you know what I hate? I hate it when I'm in the middle of a series, like Manifest, and then it just ends. And we're in the middle of a story. I really appreciate it. It didn't have to go until it got canceled. It finished. And say what you will about the show, I liked it. I liked every minute of it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Yes, I wish it were longer. Yes, there was a few things I wish were different, but great job. Great job. Love the show. What I want to know in my comments is, what did you think of the show? What did you think of season 3 in particular? And do you want to see more Joe Hill stuff put up? Do you want to see more of his stuff turned into Netflix or movies in general? I mean, I feel like it was done. This was done well, and it was done right. So anyway, I've been on here talking for an hour and 5 minutes. I really hope. Thank you for joining me again. Hey, subscribe to my channel here. See what else and give me suggestions of what else you want me to watch. Give me suggestions. Tell me what you want me to watch, what you want me to cover. And yes, I'm going to attempt to make actual videos that aren't live streams, and I'll learn how to do that. But I would like to react and talk about other shows. I love watching TV and talking about it. What do you want to see? I'll do it. Handmaid's Tale is coming out in September as season 5. So I'm going to, I don't know if my heart can take it, but I'm going to probably do a re-binge of at least season 4. I got to catch my breath for that one. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. If you've watched this live, if it's somewhere, ages and ages hence, to quote Robert Frost, I shall be telling this with a sigh. I did this live, and it hasn't made any difference. Did anyone watch it? I don't know. Sorry, but if you did watch it and sometime in the future, I'm so glad. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel. We'll do more fun stuff. Give me some feedback. Be kind, be gentle. But thank you so much for joining me. See you. I'll probably not be here next week. I'll be out of the country, but when I come back, look out for more content. I don't know what we'll do, but it might be entertainment. It might be something else. You never know. It's a new channel. I've got lots. So discuss the show. Did you like the music, the characters, the actors? Who do you want to see again? Who have you seen before in other things? I'd like to see other things with these actors in them. Go for it. If you didn't like the show, that's fine too. I want to hear your honest opinions there in those comments. Signing off. Have a lovely week, because I won't be here next week, and I don't think I'll be doing lives from Costa Rica. So, adios. Bye-bye.